Hey, this is Eric Sepul, a six-figure Shopify system. And today with me, I have Miss Sarah. Sarah, can you please give us a little bit of background about you, a little brief intro and where you're from, all that good stuff?
Hey, I live in the far north of Canada in the Yukon in a town called Dawson City, which is primarily run by gold mining, not something you normally associate with online businesses, but I also have two children now, so I can't do that kind of business anymore myself. So I work online now to support my family.
Awesome. Love to hear that. And so when did you first kind of like get that inkling to start building your own e-commerce store? And that was the kind of path you wanted to go down?
In a trusted business group that I'm on Facebook, somebody had mentioned your name and posted a link to your sales page actually. So I went and watched your video and thought like, this is like kind of sparked my interest and sounds like something that I could actually do with my very limited time and something that I could actually start making money with within a couple months.
Awesome. And how long ago, refresh me, how long have we been working together? I think it was like June of last year, something like that. We started together.
Yeah, I'm thinking July. Yeah, maybe June. Last
Awesome.
summer.
Cool. And then when did were you actually? I know that we had some ups and downs, and obviously you can tell the people a little bit more about that, those that are listening in right now. But when did you actually launch your ads for your store once everything was set up?
I think mid to end of November had a bunch of trouble with the ads. And so mid December is when things actually got rolling.
Awesome. And so, how did that go for you? Was there like steady growth, or for just to give the idea to the people, what was your biggest month to date so far with your store?
So for January has been my biggest month to date. I ran a Black Friday sale, and all those sales kind of rolled over into January. That was about $40,000, and that was a amazing start. We've been a little bit quieter later on this spring, but picking up again now.
Awesome. Love to hear that. I know earlier today we were talking that you were closing some deals. How much potential revenue is on the table with these deals you're talking to as far as today?
Today's revenue will be about $14,000.
Love that. 14,000 in a single day. That's feel pretty good. Obviously, people have not met you before and they might not know about your background and your experience and things like this. So, can you tell them what you tried before meeting us with our program with the accelerator? Could be e-commerce opportunities or could be other businesses you've tried as well.
Yeah, so I actually have no background in e-commerce before this. It was literally just that one Facebook post that sparked my interest in it. And before that, I have tried all sorts of different businesses, basically since I've been a mom and I wanted to stay home with my kids. So I've tried everything from like I've taken courses in making courses, making digital products, and all sorts of things. I've created physical products. I've had a digital Etsy store. I've done affiliate marketing through social media and a whole bunch of other neglected ideas that I liked to hop around from, getting shiny object syndrome, and just never stuck with anything long enough to like do it. So yeah, I really thought that like online courses would be my thing because I do have a wealth of knowledge and a wide variety of things, everything from health and wellness to gold mining, welding, sewing, but nothing that worked with my schedule and moving a lot. And yeah.
Gotcha. And so, you said that Facebook post kind of sparked your interest. What do you think it was kind of like, let me rephrase it this way. Why did you try to decide? Wow. Okay. So you mentioned that Facebook post and like that was the moment that it kind of sparked your interest with e-commerce and that sort of thing. So why do you think you decided to give it a shot?
I trusted the people who are recommending you, which is obviously huge. And it just seemed like something that would actually work and be more mechanical and less emotional than all the other ideas and opportunities that I've looked at for myself. Like creating a course, I'd have to pour my heart and soul into it. Whereas this business is more numbers and fact driven. And, I'm not going to have that emotional drain. I'm still going to have to be committed and dedicated, but I don't have to put that side of me into it.
Gotcha. And so for you then, what were your expectations like coming into this before joining me in the accelerator? Just, okay, you're fresh into this whole thing. What were you kind of expecting getting out of it?
I was just kind of expecting a business that I could set up and not have to be on it every moment of every day and let it be passive. But I mean, the passive word is so loosely thrown around these days. It's hard to kind of even say that.
For sure.
Just something that could still run without me sitting at my computer all day or being at the phone every minute of the day. And I can be off doing mom things and still have a successful business.
Absolutely. And so now going through everything with me, now we're working to scale everything up. What would you say has been your main takeaway from everything we've worked on so far?
My biggest takeaway from working with you and doing the accelerator was really having the accountability from you and the hand holding to get through that initial startup was huge. I would have quit 8 times over if it weren't for your support.
I appreciate that. That means a lot from a coach perspective. So, to couple with that, though, what would you say are like the top 2 or 3 things you've learned in the accelerator?
Probably research, I'd say, is number one. That's the backbone of it all. You have to make sure that products and suppliers that you're going after are going to work and not be too saturated. And with the research, you can see what seasons things are going to sell in and make sure your store is full of things that'll sell year round. Um, Definitely, it's the first thing you do, and it's the one thing you'll continue to do. Other than that, guidelines for speaking with customers and suppliers has been really helpful. I don't have any background in sales really. And in fact, coming from a fabrication welding background, I really didn't, I mean, I talked to people in a shop, but not in the same sales sense as this. So it's been really helpful to have these guidelines to go off of to start. I mean, nothing replaces practice, but it's nice to have a starting point. And the other thing is knowing what apps and like what theme you used for Shopify. It just takes all the guesswork out of it and means that you can spend more time building your store instead of endlessly going down Google and YouTube rabbit holes trying to search for things and try them.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I appreciate that. So, what surprised you about the accelerator, would you say?
I didn't realize how helpful it'd be to have somebody there like all the time that I could message like, hey, I'm having trouble with this. And just have that support right there and have the group there along with you, even just cheering for your wins. Like it's really helpful. I don't personally have anybody in my in-person circle who's an entrepreneur or doing anything online. So it's really nice to have that group there with you.
Absolutely. I think the community aspect is something that's super underrated in terms of not just like pushing you along, but celebrating those wins because I think that obviously external validation is not everything, but man, it feels good to have that to get that actual push over time for sure. So,
Definitely.
what would you say has been your biggest challenge inside the accelerator?
I mean, me personally would be my time that I have to put towards everything. And other than that, Google Ads has been my biggest challenge. And honestly, I'm still learning it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to learn. And at the beginning, I mean, I think we all learned a lot from my process of getting out of all the suspensions that I had
Mm-hmm.
and carrying forward. Everybody else can learn from my mistakes
Mm-hmm.
and what I needed to do. And I still continue to struggle keeping up with my keywords in Google, but the ads are great, so it's all worth it.
Absolutely. For context, for those that don't know, Sarah, she has been the one to help us basically systematize our process for Google Merchant Center. And sometimes there are certain stores that get flagged, and that process can take a while because Google got rid of a lot of their human employees and replaced them with AI, which made it really an annoying process to contact them and deal with them. But we were able to reverse engineer the actual core issue and solve it before it becomes an issue. Now, I don't think you had a single store that's been started since then that's had these issues. So it's been pretty much systematic at this point, which has been awesome. So uh, I would love to hear, just be completely brutally honest, what are your thoughts on me as a coach?
You as a coach, you've been extremely patient and encouraging, which in those moments of doubt is so helpful, so helpful because everybody else outside of you, if you've even told anybody, most people are not very positive about venturing off and doing your own thing. I really liked about you when I started that you're not so many steps ahead of us that you're unrelatable. You're not out there making millions and millions a year and then saying, oh, how easy it is for us to do it. Like a lot of online programs are doing these days. Like six figures is attainable for anybody. And that's what made it so relatable and like, hey, I can do that too. That's, don't get me wrong, you can scale way above that, but you have to take that first step. And that's where we're all at. And yeah, it's been really refreshing to work with somebody who's just down to earth and works really well with everybody.
I appreciate that. And I feel like, there are these buzzwords in our industry, oh, seven-figure business, seven figures is that. So, right. So I think that helping people get that first step is the most important piece. So I definitely try to make it more approachable that anybody can do it. I'm a college dropout myself and I made this happen. And so even without a formal education and just a laptop and an internet connection, I feel like, you really can make something like this happen. And I especially love it because e-commerce is only growing year over year. I think the global number this year was like $3.5 trillion with a T. And I think they're projecting overall e-commerce to be at like 5.5 billion by 2027. So in the next 5 years, this industry is going to almost double. So I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I only feel a upward trajectory here in this industry, and that now is the best time. There is no such thing as it's too late. This really does feel like an opportunity for people to jump in now and get a piece of that pie.
Yeah, I'd say that would be my only regret is not starting sooner because I had your ebook for months before I even booked a call with you and then joined the accelerator. So the sooner the better, the sooner your store is running.
100%. And so speaking of the accelerator, would you recommend it to other people?
Definitely. Yes.
Awesome. And so what kind of person, like who would you recommend it to?
Definitely somebody who's committed to sticking with a business and ready to see it through because there is setup at the beginning and you're not going to see results till you're done that. So it's not this instant gratification that everybody's so used to right now. You do have to put in work. You do have to make phone calls. You do have to set up bank accounts. There's a lot of boring things before you get to, start making money. But if you just follow all the steps and get it all done, then you get there.
100%. And I talk about it this way too, where it's like no flashy instant gratification business lasts, right? You might make money for a week, a month, but it's never going to stick around. I know for me, I've been in this business 4 years and it's a pretty boring niche that I'm in, but boring money makes money. I don't know. I just think that it's more stable in that way. And what people, I think in the long term are searching for is consistency. So that's where I feel like this fills that need is this is once you put in that work, like you're saying, it can be very, very consistent over time. You just have to be willing to take that first step.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. And so, we're talking about the accelerator here, but I would love to hear, why you'd recommend it to somebody. Because obviously it's one thing to say, hey, oh yeah, this program's great. But, for that person that's on the fence, why would you say, hey, this is probably the thing you would want to jump into?
I mean, like I talked about before, the accountability is huge. I mean, how often when nobody's watching you, do you not do the thing? You don't go for your walk. You don't do your push-ups in the morning. You don't, eat well for the day. When you have somebody that you're booking a call with every week and is expecting you to have finished XYZ for the week so you can move on, it's a huge, huge motivator. And yeah, that's been a huge help. And then the other thing ties in with your last comment about the long-term game. I mean, this is an actual sustainable long-term business. It's not boom and bust. It's, these high-ticket items that we're all looking at are timeless things. They're not popular for a moment and
They're not a
done.
fidget spinner.
No, exactly. They're things that, depending, people are going to have them for the rest of their life or something. It's nice that it's meaningful as well. You're not just selling junk to people. There's integrity behind it, and you're, depending what niche you go into, you could be helping people with whatever. So it's a real business. It's not just flashy sales and this and that.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time, Sarah. And these are very, very insightful. Thank you so much for chatting with us about your success and your experience. And for everybody who's watching this, if you are looking for some more information, wherever you found this, if you're on YouTube, check the description down below to see how you can get a spot in the accelerator. And if you're on our website, there should be a little box below this video where you can find some more details as well. So thank you again, Sarah, for your time. And I will talk to you guys hopefully soon inside of the accelerator program. Peace.
See you guys there.